So RBA player LeBron James and his son LeBron James Jr., the son of a bum. Bronny James is not a prince. He's more like Princess and a frog. But reportedly, allegedly, LeBron James and his son were tied to and linked to a car crash back in 2022. They're reportedly being sued by a lady. So not only is LeBron James a member of the BOG, which is the baby oil gang with Diddy, but LeBron James and his son, they are apparently driving around and crashing into people. But here's what the article says. So this article is per Yahoo Entertainment, and the headline reads, LeBron James and his son, LeBron James Jr., alleged 2022 car crash explained. The article goes on to say, LeBron James and his son Bronny are now facing legal scrutiny, capturing fans' attention just hours after the historic moment of the father-son duo sharing the RBA court. News broke of a lawsuit against them. This lawsuit is tied to a 2022 car accident. Their bond is celebrated on and off the court, but this unexplained twist has left many eager to learn more about the alleged incident and its impact on the James family. It says, so what are the details of this case and how might it affect their legacy? Let's explore the story further. It says, lawsuit stemming from an alleged car accident in November 2022 in Little Rock, California. It says, filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, the lawsuit claims that LeBron and Bronny's handling of a vehicle led to a crash. The incident allegedly injured plaintiffs Kiera McGillen and April Lopez and damaged their car via LA Times. McGillen and Lopez, represented by the law offices of Larry H. Parker, seek compensation for unspecified damages. They cite medical expenses, physical discomfort, and lost income due to their injuries. According to the plaintiffs, the incident occurred on Pier Blossom Highway near 87th Street. However, the California Highway Patrol did not file a report. The plaintiffs submitted the lawsuit just hours before LeBron and Bronny made history as the first father-son duo to play in the RBA. It now brings new scrutiny to their off-the-court lives. The court has scheduled a hearing for February 19, 2025, giving the James family time to respond to the claims. It goes on to say LeBron now his 27. Yeah, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about LeBron James being a leading scorer and all of his accomplishments. So apparently, LeBron James wasn't just crashing Diddy parties. Obviously, he's been going around crashing into people. But what LeBron James needs to do, he should be crashing into the retirement home. And maybe his son should be the chauffeur. Now, do I believe that LeBron James purposely crashed into these ladies' car? Absolutely. That's his character. He's an a-hole. LeBron James would do things like this. This is the very same man who blood sacrificed Kobe Bean Bryant. So this man more than likely was riding around with Bum James Jr. and they were cruising the city, and LeBron James more than likely jumped out of the car, jumped out of a moving car, did a spinaroo in the grass, and attempted to try to blood sacrifice his own son, Bummy James Jr., allegedly. That was probably LeBron James' evil intentions. LeBron James was on the brink of taking out his son, allegedly. All of this is alleged, ladies and gentlemen. But LeBron James was on the brink of taking out his son, Bronny James, when his son went into cardiac arrest a few years ago. Now, isn't it ironic? This incident just so happened to transpire a year before LeBron James Jr. goes into cardiac arrest. Now, Bronny James does not want to play basketball. He doesn't even look like an RBA player. He's not even built for the RBA. But LeBron James rigged the draft for his bum son to be able to have an RBA spot. Isn't this all a coincidence? LeBron James was at the Diddy parties, doing all these suspect things at the Diddy parties. LeBron James is an evil person. He's been exposed by the Larry Johnsons of the world. He's been exposed by the Cappy Pondexters of the world. He has been exposed by the Stephon Marburys of the world. LeBron James is very jealous and envious of a lot of players, but he pretends that he's not. He wanted to blood sacrifice his own son. So he probably jumped out the car at the last minute and did a stop, drop, and roll as his son crashed into the car with two other young ladies in it. Or his purpose was to sacrifice these two ladies and it didn't go as planned. How funny is it that this story just so happened to be released 2 years later? So LeBron James is guilty. Allegedly, he's guilty. LeBron James should be sued for everything that he has. This is the same man who had a lady escorted from a basketball game. He has had fans escorted out because he didn't like what they said. The most sensitive RBA player ever. Mr. Sensitivity. Mr. Sensitivity.
Mr. Sensitivity.
The Bronze Sexual Coalition, they don't hold LeBron James accountable at all. They believe that he does no wrong. They don't think that LeBron James is responsible for any of his actions. They don't think that he's responsible for this car crash. They probably think that the lady ran into LeBron James. They think that she's at fault, although LeBron James could literally be on camera, surveillance footage, purposely instructing his son as if this was driving school, not teaching him how to drive the right way, but teaching him how to crash into people. That's what he instructed Bronny to do. When you drive on the road, you need to be on the wrong side of the street. When you're trying to get over, don't turn on your blinker. Just get over. Just like LeBron James is the worst RBA player of all time, he's the worst driver. LeBron James probably failed his driving test just as many times as he lost in the RBA finals. He has a losing record in driving tests. I can imagine how it all went down. LeBron James and Bronny James Jr., they were driving in a 2006 Honda Insight. See, LeBron James is not a great coach. He more than likely coached his son on how to purposely crash that car at an angle and hit both of those ladies. And now they have to relive that moment for the rest of their lives. So they want to be well compensated. But LeBron James is trying to avoid this. He doesn't want to pay these people, but they should sue LeBron James. They even have LeBron James on camera saying these very words to his son. I can't teach you how to be a great basketball player, but I can teach you how to crash a car.